Well, in this video, I want to just share with you some of the history behind Integrity Capital. I think it's important for you to understand, like, where did we start and how did we get here and how did this all transpire. So we started in June of 2003, actually with an old partner, and we just started out of our houses. So I had gotten laid off from a company, went home, opened up the white pages, and the very first place I turned to was Abbas Accounting. And it was the very first phone call I'd made within this business, and it was the very first deal that we had done, which was a medical office facility. So me and my partner were wet behind the ears. We were super excited, young, in our early 20s, trying to storm the hill, so to speak. And so it was a partnership between me and a gentleman by the name of Ton, who's still a great friend today. And we were just working out of our house, trying to figure this out. We didn't know what we were doing, but we were certainly going to do everything we could to try to make this work. We were excited and quite youthful, so to speak. We'd saved up some money. We started to grow, hired a few employees working out of Tom's home, and we wanted to grow more. And so we proceeded to save up some money, kept our expenses low, and we proceeded to buy a building up off of Thompson Peak and Bell Road. We bought this office condo up there, and we were super excited to do this, very nervous. I remember sitting at the table thinking, are we actually going to do this? And it was a fun time for both of us. We were both members of the MRED, which is the Masters Real Estate Development Community. We're on the board there, and spoke many times, helped on the board at ASU. So there was this real thrilling time for us. As time went on, we were very successful. We started a radio show on 1510 KFNN called the Commercial Real Estate and Capital Markets Forum. Tom and I would go down there and we would record on sometimes a Sunday or a Friday. We would host our show. We'd invite people in within the community, real successful people, and interview them. It was a great opportunity for us also to be strategic and try to get into some doors that we wanted to do. So that went really well. And so we just continued to ride this thing up. And then in 2008, I became very greedy. I was very focused on one thing, and it was just to be successful and to do everything I could to get to the top. And there was nothing that was going to get in my way. And so my marriage started breaking down. I began to focus way too much on work, and it began to ruin my relationships, my relationship at home, my relationship with Tom. And so greed and pride just absolutely took in to my heart. And so that just was the beginning of the end of the downfall. So I proceeded to buy my partner out. I got a divorce, and just ravaged those relationships. It was devastating. And then as soon as I bought my partner out, I thought, here I reached the pinnacle of my career. I got everything I wanted, all for myself, hoarding it. And then the market just crashed. About a month later, every deal, just like a domino, just just fell down. And I proceeded to lose everything, financially at least. And it was this heart-wrenching, difficult, long nights, anxiety, fears, and doubts. And through that process was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. Intercapital, which is a large organization nationwide, birthed out of that, just based upon trying to ways to survive through this crash. And I did lose a tremendous amount financially, but I can tell you I gained everything because in 2010 I met Jesus. And it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me and ever will, is to have a personal relationship with the God who made me. And so committed my life to following him. So after that journey, we committed to pay back the loans that we owed to the banks after we sold the building in 2010. That was a difficult thing. We had loans with banks here in town. And so through that process and commitment, by the grace of God, we were able to pay those back by 2013 in full. It was about 300 and some odd thousand dollars. So it was a lot of money at the time. And committed to reconciling those relationships with my business partner, Tom, and lots of returned letters. There was a lot of angst and anger, understandably so. But eventually he was gracious enough to meet with me face to face. I remember down at a coffee shop on Scottsdale Road and Shea, and that was the beginning of what would be a fantastic friendship that we would have reconciled through that relationship. So got back on my feet 2011, ended up having this new life. I ended up having a new wife, a new baby born, and this new life where I was headed. And really out of that really became a foundation of our whys, of why we exist and what we're doing, and having deep meaning and purpose and a mission and a vision. And honesty was just absolutely tantamount for our culture. We won't budge on it. It's not something that we deviate from. There's been many times where I've had to walk away from commissions. One in particular was $60,000 I had to walk away from because we just won't budge on that. Integrity is a huge part of what we do here. And so I just wanted to share some of that history. We know that one of the greatest things we can give is the gospel, the good news that God is great and that he made us in his image and that we are fallen and sinful and we need a Savior. And so that's the greatest story that we can give to mankind. So I'm just thrilled to have you a part of our community and to just be part of our history as well as you dive in here. I'm excited to see you jump on board with the journey that lies ahead.